everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing another speed build, this time something a little bit different, and it is indeed a little mini castle which I've obviously called Castle Manor. Now this is a 2-bed, 3-bathroom build based on the 30 by 30 lot which is out on a little island in Brindleton Bay that's near the lighthouse. I was dying to actually get over to this little island and check out this lot because I have still not had a look at every single one of the lots, but you know what, I've not actually gone about trying to have a look at them because it's quite a nice surprise to just pick a lot and be like, right, let's see what's around, you know, the area, let's see what it looks like. It's like I'm discovering the game in my own time and I'm really enjoying doing it that way. But I was so excited to try this lot because obviously it's sat just on its own on this beautiful little island and it's got this lighthouse on it, and I was sat thinking for a while about what I could possibly build there. Now in base game, and not in base game, in the sort of cats and dogs pack, the initial build was actually a museum on this particular lot, and I did think about making a museum type build, but in all honesty, even when I play The Sims, I very rarely use museums. I probably have one, you know, in my world somewhere that's quite a big extravagant museum, and then really I just keep it at just the one because I just don't tend to use them. So I was thinking about maybe making it a museum, but then I thought, no, I want to make it something a bit more interesting. So I was actually going to make this into a restaurant, which potentially I may still do. But I thought for the time being, what I might do is just make this into a really pretty home. Just like, I can imagine someone just retiring, like a pilot, or I don't know, somebody just retiring to this really beautiful, very isolated island with just really gorgeous views. So this is what I came up with. I decided to do like a little castle manor. So unfortunately, the only downside in The Sims is that we haven't yet got any form of spiral staircases or ladders, so the turrets are pretty much useless unless you're going to add the turrets onto the side of the main build, which I think only one of them is added on at the bottom of this build. Then they are pretty useless. So this house is more for show, but there is actually a second floor in it as well as the first, well, the bottom floor and then the first floor, so you can still use it. It's still got as much space in it as it would have being a house. It's just obviously the use of the turrets is at the minute void, but I'm hoping in time they're gonna release some spiral staircases. In fact, I could pretty much put my money on the fact that they're gonna release spiral staircases. I'm actually noticing, to be honest, with The Sims, that what they seem to be doing with expansion packs and game packs is taking an object or something about the game or something about Sims 3 that players really want to see in the game, and they kind of like, I imagine this is just me, this isn't gospel or anything, but this is just me. I imagine they've got this long list of things that people are constantly asking for. We want to see this in the Sims, we want pets, we want this, we want seasons, we want this, and they're just kind of like spreading it over each of the game packs and expansion packs, so that when one of those releases, you might not really want any of the content, but it's got that one object in you've been absolutely dying for. And I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. So I can imagine that without a doubt spiral staircases will be coming, and when they do, I will be taking the many castle builds that I've built and placing these spiral staircases in and re-uploading them because it's gonna look amazing. But for the time being, sadly, obviously these sorts of builds are just for show. But when I say that they're just for show, they are still very much usable. You know, I've built this as a proper home, so it's got a full upstairs. I think it's just 2 bedrooms upstairs and a tiny bathroom, and it's got a full downstairs, which is quite a nice size really. I'd say this is a very large 2-bedroom home, but Probably more likely 3-bed. If I was going to make any changes to it or use it as a home, I would probably change one of the downstairs rooms. I think we've got a little bit of like an entertainment room. I'd probably change that into a 3rd bedroom. But anyway, for now, I imagine that this would be an adult home, a little bit like one of the first homes that I did. It was just completely adult, like adult themed throughout. But I did actually make this into kind of like, it had a spare bedroom, but the spare bedroom was a twin. So there's lots of potential. You could potentially move a family in here and adapt it really, really quickly, really well. But with regards to outdoor space, it doesn't really have a great deal. There's a little seating area around at the back, which is like got a couple of picnic tables and somewhere to eat. Really, this is just a looker. This is why I wasn't sure whether to make it into a museum, just because it's the kind of place that you would turn up on the island and be like, wow, that's beautiful, but then function wise, you know. But anyway, maybe this is the type of home that isn't suited to someone that really likes the outdoors that much. Maybe they're an indoorsy type of person. But I did just kind of kit it out for just a single sim and some pets as well. So I did put some pet items into the actual build. So this does actually come in at just less than 147,000 simoleons, and again, it's not cheap. I've used all the packs. I don't know if I've used all the packs, but I didn't put any restrictions on that either. I'm sorry if you can hear that noise in the background. My little dog, we've got like wooden floor, and you can just hear her sort of tapping across it like she's dancing. So if you can hear anything, that's just her. She's come over to say hello. She can hear me talking about pets, you see. She's like, oh, a home for me. So yeah, the outdoors is just obviously very sort of decorative and really pretty, but not a lot going on the outside. Now when it came to do the inside, I was a little bit stuck as to how to do it. Now I know I've mentioned this before, but with castles, I like to kind of make them a little bit oldie worldy ordinarily. But with this house being kind of like, I don't know, kind of, I wanted to give it a modern feel on the inside. I didn't want it to be all kind of oldie-worldy on the inside, because I don't really like them sorts of interiors to play in, to be honest. I prefer things to look a lot more modern. So I decided to do that. I decided to go with a modern, sort of very comfortable, homely feel on the inside, with lots of sort of bright, neutrally, well, what would I say, pastel type colours. So lots of pale blues and pale greens, and I actually really like it. I like the interior of this build. I did have a few issues. Obviously the house is built on an angle, and when it's built on an angle, it always makes it a little bit more difficult to do floor plans and things like that. But I got there in the end, and yeah, it took a little bit of trial and error. Some of that trial and error you'll see, other bits I've probably clipped out. But yes, I'm happy with the interior. I'm glad with the way that it turned out. I think the main room that I struggled with out of any of them would have been the kitchen, because I just couldn't decide what kind of colour scheme I wanted to go for. Because sometimes I think I tend to go for the same sorts of colours in my builds, and I always try to change it up a bit, you know, do something different that I haven't done before, or include objects that I don't ordinarily use. And I think everyone tries to do that, really. I think most builders try and, you know, venture out of their comfort zones a little bit, and this was no different, really. But I did really like the way it turned out. I did think it looked quite nice and quite light and quite bright. And I did actually like the kitchen in the end. It did look okay. It didn't at first. I was worried. I was thinking, I might have to leave this build for another day and have a sleep on it, because I'm not sure I'm going to get anywhere with this one. But I did actually change up the colour scheme in the end, and it turned out alright. So the majority of this build has been recorded, the majority of the rooms, but I have missed out things like the landing areas. kind of floor plan down the bottom is a little bit weird as well. So there was one of the main rooms which seemed like a bit of a communal area, ended up turning into kind of like a sort of study living area, and I didn't actually record that, but you can see it as I'm flicking through. And obviously if you are interested in downloading this particular build, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery now, so you can go ahead and have a proper look at the interior there. But speaking of the gallery, now I literally pop onto The Sims at the minute I've not really done much gameplay, not this week or not in the last sort of week and a half. I've had so much going on at home, but I literally pop on, go straight to my build, get myself busy building, and then come straight off, save everything and log off. And I came to upload this particular build before to the gallery, and I noticed on my homepage I had like a load more followers, so I thought, all right, let's just have a little look through. I noticed I'd got a Maxis fave for Cranberry Way, and I was like, wow, that's amazing, because I do get excited about Maxis faves. It's nice to see that, you know, the actual creators of this game are having a look through and seeing all the good work that other creators are making, and that they've got a little way that they can sort of recognise you for that, and sort of say, you know, job well done type thing. So anyway, so I was like, wow, that's amazing. So I tweeted it out and I was like, oh, I didn't even know I'd got a Maxis fave. I'm so happy. And then I went back in and noticed that my other last build that I'd done had also got a Maxis fave. And I was like, you're kidding me, 2 in 1 week. So I was totally stoked about it because, yeah, like I say, it's always nice to get sort of that little thumbs up from, you know, from the builds that you do. So that was pretty cool. But also, welcome to everybody that's new. I cannot believe I'm at nearly 3,000 subscribers. I am so excited. It's unbelievable. I can't even describe how crazy it is to see them sorts of numbers on my channel. You know, in my day-to-day life, I'm quite a sort of private person, really. I don't have much kind of social life as such, because I've got, you know, 4 children. It's me, my husband, it's our little family, and we're a little unit. Well, we're not little, we're a fairly large size family, and I'm such a busy person. You know, I'm a really busy mum, and that is predominantly my life, and The Sims is something that I do in my downtime, you know, and this is my little world. It's where I come to at the end of the day when I've had, you know, a big long day, all my kids are nicely tucked up in bed and everyone's asleep, and I can finally sit down and have a little bit of time to myself. This is the place that I come, and I just kind of, it's like my little creative bubble. And to think that I shared that sort of 8 months ago, and so many people have enjoyed what I do, is just, it's amazing to me. It's mind-blowing. And although, you know, some people are probably like, oh, that's next to nothing, and, you know, it's not big numbers compared to a lot of people, but for me, it's everything. You know, I never thought anyone would watch anything that I do. So, you know, truly, I'm really, really grateful and really, really thankful. So thank you very much for subscribing, and I really hope you're enjoying it as well. I hope you're enjoying the content. If there's anything that you think I can improve or anything you want to see, you know, feel free to leave me a comment. I try to respond back to everybody, which I'm pretty sure I do. I'm quite good at that, but sometimes it is a day or two before I can get back to people, but I always aim to reply back. So if there's anything that you want help with, advice, anything like that, then yeah, stick a comment in, you know, the box down below, and I will see what I can do. But yes, thank you very much. And if you're not subbed and you are new and you're just checking out the channel for the first time, then feel free to hit that button and stick around for some more, because the more the merrier, I promise. But back to the build. I'm now onto this troublesome kitchen. I don't actually know how much I have included in this particular kitchen, because it just went through an array of different changes, different colours. I just didn't know what I was doing with it, to be honest. In fact, I think I actually based the colour scheme in the end around that sofa. I was kind of like, I thought I'd nailed it. I thought, this is it. This is what I'm going to go for. And then I think I just went too far orange and it just went a little bit Mediterranean, and then I was like, no, I don't like it, and I just ended up changing it a completely different colour. I do like some elements of what I was doing, but I just think I lost my way a little bit and it just didn't work out. So yeah, I changed it all up, and I did actually really like the way that it turned out the second time round. But as you can see, the shape of the kitchen is just a little bit odd. It's a bit strange. I wasn't really sure how to make it work, but yeah, it was alright in the end. See, my friend Sim Architecture, I'll leave his link in the description box below, is absolutely amazing at doing kitchens. Like, he's an amazing builder anyway. He's really talented and he's really good at exteriors and interiors, and I love watching his builds. But he's always so good at doing kitchens. Like, his kitchens in particular always strike me. I think it's just because maybe it's a little weakness of mine that I hone in on it a bit more, but I just love his kitchens. He's dead creative with them as well. But yeah, he's definitely worth checking out if you've not seen any of his builds before. And we've actually done a couple of collaborations as well, so he's a good one to go and check out. But yeah, so you can see I'm changing it to the blue, but I did actually skip on and move to the next room. Now, the reason for this is because I was half trying to build this during today, and I had my little girl, but every single time I came to sit down and do a couple of little bits for a couple of minutes, she'd literally come up, ram me with her walker, and it would be like, no, she needs mummy. So I just couldn't actually get around to recording it in the end, so I ended up finishing it tonight. But I was dying to get this build done and out, so I was trying to get as much as I've done of it that I could. So I think this is one of the final rooms, which was just a little entertainment room. Again, throwing in loads of the activities and skill building items. I always aim to try and get as many of those in there as possible, dependent on what your Sims want to do. Give it a bit of variety. But if you like this video, please feel free to give me a big thumbs up, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye.